He's the voiceover studio engineer of the Stars in Los Angeles, California, a Virginia Tech grad with a knowledge of recording studios unmatched in his field. He's a voice actor from Buffalo, New York, with 30 years experience in recording studios and behind the mic. He solves people's home voiceover studio problems in the blink of an eye. Together, there's no studio problem they can't solve, and they'll do it for you tonight. Welcome to East West Audio Body Shop. Now, live from a basement in Buffalo and an office in LA, here are Dan Leonard and George Whittam.
Hi, I'm Dan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East West Audio Body Shop. All right. We're here at Voice 2012 at Disneyland. All right. Yeah, get your ears on there. We're having a great time here. We gave a presentation yesterday. We got great reaction, talking about tech talk, and boy, we get a lot of questions. I mean, it doesn't stop.
Well, you know, that's what we do, so I'm kind of glad. But, you know, it's amazing. The thing is, we hear the same questions over and over. So that's part of the reason why we started this show, I think.
That's true. It seems that you guys like to hear us talk shop. I remember at Voice 2010, we were sitting at our booth and we were just going, and people started gathering around and listening to us, and that was really the genesis of this show. And then we did a seminar at the Don LaFontaine Lab a couple of years ago, and we just decided to start doing this show. And whenever we get the chance to get together, this is really only the 5th time that George and I have actually been in the same room to do the show. I'm usually sitting in my basement in Buffalo, and. And somehow he manages to control this thing from this thing I call the Hydra. It's just got wires and cables coming in all over the place.
And every time we do a live show, it's always different. We have a different logistical problem, different arrangement of gear. It's always interesting.
It's always a challenge, but we're always up to it, and that's. You never panic. That's the most important thing. Anyway, we're here we're in the vendor hall here at just after lunch hour. We got lots of folks here in the audience with us, and we'd like to bring on our first guests, the people who actually made this event possible, and that is Jim and Penny.
They are here, I think.
All right.
Let's bring them up. All right, now we're going to pause to reposition them.
Jimbo! Can we get that a little bit?
Can you get it higher?
Can you get it higher?
It's all about the pageantry.
Yes. There we are. I know.
And everybody loves the up-the-nose shot.
Yeah, we stole them.
Lovely.
All right. See, those chairs can't get any closer. Can we pull the... Can we, closer? Closer. You get any closer, I'll be behind you.
I think that's...
Let's see here. How's that?
There you go.
Oh, that works.
There we go.
All right. A little trouble with Ustream producer, so we improvised.
Yes.
Okay. Not being live, we can do whatever we want.
Absolutely. It's amazing what you can do in post.
There we go.
Yes.
I hate post,
Yes.
but we're going to do it for the show.
Yeah, but remember, process in post.
Yes,
All right.
please.
All right.
Guys, welcome to East West Audio Body Shop. Once again, you've been with us before.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having us on EWABS.
Where are your ears? You were wearing the ears last time.
I was. Well, I left them up in my room. They'll be back out tomorrow night at the
They
banquet.
keep falling off because they keep falling off. You know that.
That's what crazy glue is for.
Yeah. Or a staple gun.
Yeah. Now,
Thank you.
all right. We'll bleep that one out. Anyway, what was the genesis of this particular event? This is the 4th one. I'm proud to say I've been at all 4 of these. And it's been a lot of fun, and who knew when we were in Vegas in 2007 that it would grow to what it is and be as exciting as it is. But what started all this?
It's her fault.
Okay, your fault.
It's her fault.
Way back in about 2000, I went into Jim's office and said, everybody in this world seems to have conventions except voice actors, right? And we need to have a convention, to which he replied, do you know how much work that would be? Do you know how much that would cost?
And he was right.
And he was right. But over the years, I think I softened him up or something, because in 2007, we put together our first voice convention in Las Vegas in 5 months. And I still look back on that because I know now to put together the size of convention we have takes us about 18 months. But we did that in 5 months, and it was just charmed. That's the only way to describe it. It was just meant to be. And that was the catalyst of everything. We just really wanted to get together and have a party with our friends. And
That was it.
that was it.
Yeah. And how much work is it?
How much work?
Yeah.
Well, like as Penny says, it's about 18 months
Yeah.
of organization and negotiations and dealing with paperwork and follow-ups, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And we actually, once we finish this event tomorrow night at our banquet, which would be last night, I think by the time this airs,
And it was delicious, by the way.
we still have about another month of work to do after this, before everything, all the dust settles and everything is actually finished. And then we take a couple of months off just to recover and revive ourselves, and then we start looking at what we're going to do for the next one.
So you have post-processing to
We
do
have
as well.
a lot of post-processing, yes.
What are some of the plans? Can you like tell us any idea of what? No, you're not going to talk about it.
We have no idea just yet. We don't really know. We won't until we get over everything from this and we finish, wrap up all the loose ends, and we look at what worked, what didn't work, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be adjusted or changed, and then we start looking at moving those into 2014.
All right. Well, there's no more fun than getting together with other voice people. The first time we did in Vegas, and I remember the first night we were there, and you threw us into a room, and then you couldn't get us out of the room.
No, we couldn't.
It was a great time, and it's just carried on since then, and you just can't beat that. And I want to thank you, and thank you for the opportunity of letting us come in here and present and do our show from here. That's a big risk, because you never know what's going to happen.
That is for sure.
Well, especially with you two.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say one other thing. These lovely little things that you got in your bags, those are wonderful swag. Those came from EWABS. That's this right here. Thank you. And for those of us who are getting older and our sight is failing, yeah, these are really great. I can even check my iPhone now. So thank you very much for those, guys.
You're welcome.
Those are awesome.
I paged through hundreds of pages on the website till I found that.
Great. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thanks for having us at Voice 2012.
Thank you for being here. Thanks, George.
Is this recording? Okay. If you have a garden, right now we're at the garden party here on East West Audio Body Shop. Joe Cipriano is sponsoring a wonderful garden party, and you can see all the great people that are here. But two of the greatest people that are at this private party are some friends of ours who have another great web show on voiceover, Stacy and Chuck from VO Buzz.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
How you all doing? It's awesome to be here on EWABS.
It is. I've never been EWABs before.
Oh, well, are you in for a treat?
Well, it feels pretty good to get EWAB'd, I'll
It
tell
does.
you that.
I'm from the East Coast. He's from the West Coast. So
Hello.
we're-
Wow, see, it's
It's
total
See,
synchronicity.
works out, yeah.
Yeah.
So what does your show normally do? I know you do interviews with some great people, and what do you do?
Well,
We try to bring information to people that are either breaking into the business, or people that are been in the business as, gigantic pros, or people that have nothing to do with the business but just want to be entertained and want to know who are the people behind these voices that we hear on television commercials and promos and trailers and cartoons and all this wonderful stuff. And we try to get them that information right into the homes. But we like to say, I said this yesterday, we're bringing Hollywood into every home all over the world.
yes. And right now we're being watched in over 80 countries in the world, which is great. But the focus of the show for us is to put the face behind the voice, to also get into hearing from directors and casting people and writers in every facet of the voiceover business, but to inspire people and educate them and put something out into the world that makes people better from watching.
Right.
That was our goal.
And how can people access the show?
They can go to VOBuzzweekly.com and subscribe. It's free. They just enter an email and a password, and they can watch all the episodes. They're up 24/7. So if you didn't get started with us in January, they're all there. So we're at almost episode 25 now.
Past guests.
Yes.
Who are past guests?
Some of the past guests you've had.
We've had Joe Cipriano, Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart
Oh, wow.
Simpson,
Yeah.
Jim Cummings, the voice of Winnie the Pooh, Scott Rummel, big promo trailer guy, Bob Bergen. We've had agents, my agent, Sandy Schnarr, and
Video game director Chris Borders.
So
We got Billy West coming up.
yeah, so it's exciting, and also Scott Brick, big audio creator.
Yep, awesome
So
dude.
Mars, yeah.
Love him.
we're trying to give a representation of every possible side, and we're of course going to have some tech experts.
Oh yeah,
Do
coming
you know
soon.
any?
Tech experts, and I'll tell you what, man, we're huge fans of EWABS,
We
and
are.
we watch you guys all the time, and you should too. Well, you are, because that's why you're
That's
seeing
why
us
they're
on
here.
This is awesome. Keep doing that.
Been there, watch that. That's what they're saying.
Been there, watch that.
We love you guys, and,
Oh,
and
thank
you
you.
for what you do, because you make it possible for voice actors like myself to be able to get my work out and be heard, and you really know your strengths. So good job on that.
Well, thank you. And your show is a lot of fun to watch. Who designed the set?
I'm
We-
going to say that Stacy did that.
Yeah, and
that
the
was a
set, but the
Stacy
set is
design.
always kind of in flux, and we're getting ready to do another makeover. I mean, it's always like, you guys know, I mean, as your budget grows, as time goes on, your needs change and what you want to do with it changes. So we're in the process of making some changes of how we shoot it and what it looks like. So it's always kind of evolving. It's kind of like the room in your house you always keep rearranging.
Yeah.
Put the couch there, the couch there. So
Whose house is it?
it's actually at Chuck's studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so
over at
we transform
World
it.
Digital Studios, Demos at Rock. That's me.
Great. All right. And we're actually going to buy some cameras soon for our
Oh,
show.
yeah.
That'll be
at
really
you.
something. Yeah, we're really moving ahead. Chuck, Stacy, wonderful to see you guys
Thank you,
again.
Thank you. It's so good to unite with the other force.
Yes.
Web
Well,
force.
we're all the same
We're
force.
like superheroes, and now we have these matching tattoos.
That's right. You with
Absolutely. Look at
the
that.
suited
Are we
tattoos.
rocking
Yeah.
or what? Woohoo!
Yeah, see,
So-
I'm going for the Gorbachev look here.
Oh boy.
I'm trying to decide which eyes I should be looking at, Dan.
I know that, and that's why I do it.
All
All right.
Hold on. I just want to say one
Yeah.
thing. Dan Leonard, George Whittam, EWABS totally rock.
Ditto.
Thanks.
What do you got to say
And that's
about
all
that?
from here.
What you got? What you got, Dan?
What you got?
What you got, Dan?
Okay. Stacy and Chuck got the coolest show on voiceover over at VoiceOver Buzz Weekly. You got to go check them out. What a fun business we're in, right, guys?
Amen, brother.
Let's go to the party.
Yeah,
Let's go.
party.
Let's go show off George.
Is this recording? Okay. If you have a garden party, the best thing to have is a host, someone to put it on. We've got the greatest host in the world for this, especially for a voice convention. The Mega Voice, Joe Cipriano.
Wow, is he here?
He's over there somewhere.
I never. Oh, there he
there it
is.
is.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Penny, look at this.
Da-da,
May I
da-da.
yes, I would just like to show that right
There's some
there.
great swag in there, especially the magnifying glass.
There's a good magnifying glass in there.
Wow, oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Let's see what that would look like through your lens.
There you go.
That's cool. Excellent. Well,
Good timing.
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Where were we?
George, and all of you EWABians out there. Yes, you know who I'm talking about. Welcome.
Thank you.
To the
And
garden party.
And thank you for having us.
Thank you. Oh, this. You know what, George? Let me show you what I do with this. No, this is a great hammer. This really
I
is
know.
an excellent hammer. If you're gonna build, Clint Eastwood, right here, ladies and gentlemen. Clint, how are you? It's so good to see you. Thank you for coming to the garden party today.
Doing all right. Doing okay.
It's always a pleasure having you.
You're making my day.
I made his day.
All right. Now you got a big poker tournament coming up to support
We
the
do.
Don LaFontaine Lab.
Yep, the
When is
DLF VO Lab. It's going to be August 11th, and I'm hoping that George and you will be able to come out for it.
It's a long way to come from.
I know.
I've been out here 4 times in the last 8 months.
Well, let's see
Maybe
if we can
one
make
more
it 5.
time. My mom
You know
likes
what?
having
Come on.
EWABians, if we can take up a collection right now to get Dan out here, really, $1, $2, anything to get him out here. You may have to drive or walk, but we'll get you out here.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's August 11th, and we are having it at a very exclusive location that we can't even talk about. They're not even letting us talk about it yet. But it's August 11th. It supports the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab. There will be so many people like Scott Rummel, who is here tonight, Stu Herrera and Jim Tasker, George Whittam will be here, and actually hoping that George will do his live broadcast once again. And you will see on the internet where you can pick up tickets. I hope that you will consider it. If you're not a poker player, there are tickets that are just to come and enjoy the party. And 100% of the money that goes into this, tickets, if you buy something at the silent auction, 100% goes to the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab.
Great.
So that's why we're going to get you to walk out here, Dan.
I've done it before.
Have you?
I have.
Wow.
Took a couple pairs of shoes, but
Yeah.
not out here.
Holy smokes.
Any excuse to come out here. My mom lives out here, so I have to be out here anyway.
Right. Well, with a shirt like this, you should be out here. That is not a New York shirt.
No, this actually came from California.
See that? I'm telling
I
you.
inherited from a Californian. Yes.
Was he an EWABian?
He was, sort of. He's no longer with us, but he lives on in these shirts.
Really?
I can actually smell him.
Is he still in the pocket?
He may be. He may be. Thanks for having
Thank you,
the party.
Dan.
And thanks for
Pleasure.
everything you do in the business.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Thanks. Watch EWABS.
And now we've got as our guest Stu Herrera. Stu, how you having a good time at the garden party? Nice to meet you.
Yes, I came down to just for this party.
Just to meet all of us.
Well, I'm telling you, I was in LA up in Culver City, and I'm like, oh my God, it's 2:15. I got to get down to the party, and I raced down here on my motorcycle just to be here, just for this interview, in fact, because I knew you'd be here.
Oh, that's great. And motorcycle's the way to go because you can just avoid all the
It's
traffic.
the only way to go. You either get there real fast or you don't get there at all.
What kind of bike you have?
Today I'm on the Yamaha. I've got an FZ1. I've got a couple of bikes, but it's a lot narrower bike, so I can split the lanes in more safety and greater room for error, which I don't make.
Would you like another drink, Mr. Herrera?
Yes, more ice, please.
Okay, he'll be right back.
It's good for the teeth.
Yeah, it helps. So what are you working on these days?
I'm working on my mustache. I'm trying to grow one out. I don't know. Do you have any pointers?
Took me 55 years to get it like this.
Where's the wax?
The wax is up in my bathroom, actually.
What am I working on voiceover-wise? I'm the voice of the Ellen DeGeneres show, the dailies, promos, and so forth. Let's see, I do a lot of Fox Sports, Fox Soccer, and some Fox Sports. I've been the voice of Bud Light Lime for the past since the launch. I'm not sure if I'm still on Bud Light Lime, so maybe I shouldn't even mention it. I do a lot of industrial stuff now for car companies, and I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff because I always do.
See, industrials, man. Everybody. Industrials are
telling people
the secret.
That's the thing. If you want to, if there's work out there, it's not all in commercials. If you can do industrial stuff.
Yeah, there's no work at all. It's a really it's a dying industry. You don't want to.
We're on our way out.
Edit this out.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, dude.
All right, take care.
Is that corny enough?
That was
Perfect.
El Dorado Recording Services.
Randy Thomas chiming in.
This is Alex Verdi.
Hi, this is Bill Ratner in Los Angeles.
Hi, this is Scott Rummel here in Yorba Linda, California.
Hi, my name is Rick Wasserman.
Hi, this is Tom Kane.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Marshall.
Hi, my name is Zurich.
Hi, I'm Mary McKittrick.
Hi, I'm Peter McHugh.
I was turned on to George by none other than Don LaFontaine, who always swore by his health.
George is absolutely awesome.
ISDN, Source Connect, Phone Patch, FTP, you name it, George has set it up.
It's really the best thing I've ever done for myself. I feel free, safe, fearless, like anything is possible in here.
Unless you like to look for opportunities to waste time, call George.
And he did all of that, long distance over the phone and the internet.
I'm very happy with George, and I cherish
I've got my travel kit, I got my Source Connect, I've got it all going on, thanks to you.
Thanks, George. You make it easy.
This is East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the East and George Whittam in the West. Now, back to Dan and George.
All right. We're back here on East West Audio Body Shop from Voice 2012. We got a great audience here for our show today. And one of the things we do on our show is we solve home studio problems. Because as we all know, it's amazing how many things can go wrong with a home studio, right? It's buzzing, it's hissing. I can't hear myself. That sort of thing. Anybody have a tech question for the experts here? Lisa Biggs has a question for us.
If I can't hear myself in my headphones, what do I do?
You could take them off. This is a question we get an awful lot about headphones, and it's a debate. How many of you use headphones when you're recording? All right. How many of you don't? It'd be everybody else, I would imagine. Use for voiceover. And my general attitude is that, who are you listening to? I mean, if your headphones, from my perspective, have always been part of radio tradition and recording studio tradition for the purpose of hearing something else other than yourself. In radio, it was a matter of when you keyed up the mic, you had these big, powerful monitors in your studio, and if you weren't wearing headphones and didn't cut off the monitors, there would be an awful lot of feedback, which is one of the reasons I'm partially deaf in this ear, because I only did that about 8 or 9 times. And so it was done to cue yourself when the music would end. In a recording studio, of course, it's when the director is giving you direction. But other than that, it tends to, when people wear headphones in a studio, in my opinion, they tend to lower their voice half an octave. It's going to be a little harder for you, but and it tends to make people sound very unnatural. So we tend to recommend, well, at least I recommend, that free yourself from your headphones, and then monitoring yourself is never a problem. And you can be more animated, the cord won't make noise, and you'll hear yourself in the environment in which you're recording, in which case you'll sound a lot more natural and you'll feel more conversational. You have something to say about that, George?
Hang on.
Hopefully that won't fall apart.
No, it didn't fall apart. It was just because it went into demo mode. Let me put my banana here.
Put it on your banana there.
Okay.
We improvise a lot on this show.
My banana stand. I hope Ryan's shooting every one of these stupid rigs that I come up with to do this. No, headphones have, for some voice actors, headphones have become a necessary evil because you're being directed now. You're being directed over the phone, over Skype, or you might even be on ISDN. So if you're on ISDN, or you're using Skype, this may not completely apply to you. The thing is, I've actually had some clients that use ISDN say, how can I start voice acting on ISDN with these stupid headphones off my head? How can I get these things off my head? We're still trying to figure out a way to do that. It's like a live concert PA. You have to monitor, the rest of the things going on somehow, but we can't really have a speaker playing back what they call the SOT, sound on tape, because that would get then picked up by the microphone. So there are people out there who have to wear them that wish they didn't have to wear them. So you guys that don't wear them, you're probably ahead of the game. But if you do have to wear them for voiceover being directed, the general consensus is take one cup off your ear.
And that helps.
And it makes a tremendous difference. Now you can hear yourself in the natural space around you. It's more comfortable. And you can still hear, the direction in the other ear. You can even just use a very small, lightweight earphone in that one ear just to hear the phone call and still feel natural. Have that natural feeling of hearing your voice outside in the outside world.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And of course, there's my favorite, which is if you're doing a remote session, you can, someone says, "Do you have a phone patch?" I go, "Yeah." "Are you on? Are you ready to go?"
Do it again. Do it again on camera.
Yeah. Are you ready to go? Okay. Anybody else have a question? Over here. Tim Hill.
There's a cabling question. There's quite a range of prices of mic cable. Is it worth it stepping up?
We don't believe so. We tend to think that cable is cable. You don't want to use like, you know, two-wire cable that you get from Radio Shack. No. You can get good cable, the Mogami and
there's a certain level that should be achieved. Yeah. Once you go beyond about, you know, $40 for a 20-foot mic cable, it's that lull of diminishing returns. And then you start getting into that audiophile world of oxygen-free cable and balance this, you know, whatever.
Nitrogen-filled cable.
Nitrogen-filled cable, that kind of thing. Oh, right next to him, Dan.
Follow-up question.
Is there anything to do with the length of the cable that we should know about?
Not anymore. No.
I like disagreeing with you.
I know you love disagreeing.
Well, no, and not. I mean, if your equipment is in good condition, your connections are good, and your cabling is in good condition, you should be able to have a pretty long cable run. But I generally try to pick the shortest cables possible for any setup that I do. It tends to help a little bit.
I mean, I do the same thing. If you don't have to run a long cable, don't run a long cable. You do want to keep it. You want to have as little distance as possible between your microphone and your computer, and the cable's going to add to that. That generally was more of a problem, though, with dynamic microphones and ribbon microphones, where you really couldn't, you know, take a long run on that.
With USB, it's definitely an issue.
Yeah, with
There's
USB,
really only so
you're
far you
limited to
can
about 10 feet or
do
so.
on USB. So.
Then, of course, there's the cordless mics, which at the range of the cordless mic.
Oh, sure.
All right. Anybody else have a question? Ann.
Suggestions for soundproofing your recording space when you're in an apartment and you can't do anything permanent, there's no room for a whisper room, and you have no control over your neighbors.
Yeah, that's a big problem. That's as much a social issue as it is a technical issue. As a superintendent at a school I once worked at, once told me when it was snowing and I showed up and this place was in another county, he said, the school's closed. I said, you couldn't call me? He says, you live where you choose to live. So that, generally, I didn't like that superintendent very much. I don't think he liked me very much either. But anyway, it's not easy to soundproof anywhere. It's very, very expensive to soundproof completely, which I think is almost totally impossible in a home environment, especially if you don't own the home, if you're renting, or even if you're in your own home. The best thing to do is to find an interior closet. Get to the most interior part of your house and go into a closet if you can, a walk-in closet, a fairly good-sized closet. You can close the door, that generally will lower your noise floor a considerable amount. So that's probably your best option. But to be out in an open area in your living room or dining room or something like that, in a lot of apartments that's the same room, obviously. That's generally the rule, is try to get to the interior of the dwelling where you've got a closet that sort of has air insulation around it to the rest of the house.
I agree.
What? All right, any other questions? Yes.
So the choices between getting a better mic, upgrading a better mic, or sound treating, I mean, you know, soundproofing, if you will, your room. I'm in a very large, rectangular living room, hideout, whatever. What's my best bet? I've got my mother-in-law's Afghans right now in front of me, with the windows in front of me, so
But yeah, functional sound-wise and aesthetically pleasing. The most important thing there. Microphone or sound?
This is a great question.
It's an excellent question.
It depends.
You go first.
Do you want the depends answer? Hang on a second. This is going to be so much fun while my wife and daughter watches me edit this from outside my office. Okay. Okay, my answer is it depends. One way to determine that is to get somebody else to take a listen to the audio, because the problem I'd say about 90% of the time, the problem isn't the microphone that's to blame. It's a lot of other factors. So I would say send a file to the Dropbox I have on my site or Dan's specimen container, and yeah, the specimen jar, and we'll help you make that decision. It's really hard to make on your own. But I do find that really most of the time, the mic is not the thing to blame. It's something else. It's a mic preamp not set up right, or it's electrical noise, or it's the refrigerator that really needs to be turned off when you're recording, or it's something else. Because if you do all these things, if you get the best mic on the planet, as Aunt Dan likes to say, it picks up the ants in the backyard fist fighting. And it hears everything. So you want to get rid of all the background noise before you upgrade your mic. Otherwise, your beautiful new mic or your beautiful preamp that has super low noise floor and it's great dynamic range and all this stuff won't be to any advantage because it's just picking up more noise now. Let me turn it around.
And now back to the live shot. Yeah, and the way I look at it is, I think that good quality audio in a home studio, 95% of it is the acoustics in your room. Because any good condenser microphone over about $200, $250 is going to sound just fine. They have very low self-noise. If you're recording at a proper level, it should be fine. So the most important thing is the environment in which you record. And if you've got a good, clean, quiet environment, that's going to go a long way. If you're recording at the proper levels, that's going to go a long way to making you sound your best. Sometimes it's not a matter, I know Chris Cerier is going to kill me for this. Sometimes it's not a matter of one microphone being better than another. Sometimes they're just different. And they might have slightly different response. But sometimes that might just be the signature sound that you have with that microphone. And as long as you remain consistent and you're getting work, who cares? Why invest in things that may actually make, you bring in wildlife into your house just by sound anyway?
Yeah, I mean, I have clients that could afford any mic on the planet using, the same $1,000 mic, maybe a 416, that they've been using for 10 years. Eventually, you get over the gear lust, and you just start working, and then the equipment just disappears.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this segment. Remember, we're on every Sunday night at 6 p.m. here on the West Coast and 9 p.m. out on the East Coast. And we have a little bit more to do here, but if you want to have a question, you can email us at ewabshop.com. ewabshop
at gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Thank you very much. All right, and we'll be right back after this message.
And this garden party continues, but I gotta get one of my favorite people, my West Coast dad. Yeah. My coach, one of the greatest people in the voiceover business, Mark Cashman, and happy birthday to you.
I don't feel a day over 48. It's just awesome. It really, really is.
Yeah. Now, you've been coming to Voice every time, and I've been here.
I wasn't in the first one.
But you've been in the last three.
2008, 2010, and 2012. And while I'm on the subject of 2012, I just want to pontificate just a little bit about 2012.
Please do.
We have half the people in this business saying 2012 and half saying 2012. Why is that? Why? Because the people who are saying 2012 have just not gotten over the past decade. But here's the bottom line. When the year 1900 came along, why 2012?
Why 2012?
Here's why. In the year 2000, everybody said 2000. Why? Because it was the millennium. The millennium it would not come around for another 1,000 years, so it was cool to say 2000. Plus, we have a whole generation of people who grew up with 2001, A Space Odyssey. So they were able to, again, saying 2000 was so cool, and then 2001 was really cool too, and then they got used to it. So 2002, 2003, but here's the thing. By the time the decade ended, by the time we got to 2010, that's where we should have started saying the 20s. Right? 2009 is the last time we should actually say 2000. Why? Here's why. Because when we get to 2020, nobody's going to say 2020.
They're going to go 2020.
They're going to go 2020. I say get used to it beforehand. It's 2012 and 2013 and 14 and 15 and 16. Let's just get on with the decade. The decade's passed. Let's get on. This is the second decade of the 21st century. It's the 20s.
Look at the camera and say, it's 2012. It's 2012. Get used to it.
That's
say
right.
That.
It's 2012. Get used to it.
This is East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the East and George Whittam in the West. Now back to two characters that didn't have anything else better to do, Dan and George.
Okay. All right, we're here at the garden party with the actual official voice of EWABS, Dave Courvoisier.
He lives on the West Coast. The other guy lives on the East Coast. It's EWABS.
All right.
How's that for you?
That's right.
I'm feeling pink today.
You are. I can see that.
How'd the show go earlier?
We had a great time.
Good for you.
You know, disaster nearly averted and that sort of thing. But we got it
The
done.
usual.
I think what you guys are finding is that everybody loves EWABS. Everybody watches EWABS. You guys are onto something here.
Yeah, we're starting to get that idea. So I think we'll just keep doing it.
I think you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always good when I'm on. I love it.
Good.
We'll have you do a new one for the next 100 episodes. So
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna.
I'm honored.
And how did you get they put it on your head? I got mine right there. Mine is.
Ann Ganguza came up to me and she goes, "We want to give you a tattoo," and I'm like,
and when
"You want to put it up here, don't you?"
Ann Ganguza could get most any guy to do anything she wants to get him.
I'm a sucker for a pretty face.
She is a charming lady. What are you up to?
Well, actually, I'm getting ready to get out of here, but I came for the garden party that Joe Cipriano hosted, and to see so many of my voiceover friends and Facebook friends who do voiceover that I haven't met, and I have been completely honored by so many people who approached me to tell me that I was an inspiration for them, that they like my work, that they follow what I do, and it helps them with what they do.
I'd like to thank you for being such an inspiration to all of us here. A true inspiration.
You know, I was serious. This man, he's making a mockery.
Look at that mustache. Do you think he's capable of being
I think
serious?
there's some soup in there.
Thank you.
The great garden party continues, and we have with us a great voice of sports, Jim Tasker.
Where's the bathroom?
It's over there.
Okay, I'll be right back. Hey, wait, let me take a picture of him doing this.
Yeah, that's...
All right, I'll post it on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for coming. Having a good time this afternoon?
I'm having a great time. This is great. At Disneyland Hotel here in beautiful downtown Anaheim. It's quite a beautiful day, actually. I thought it was going to be very hot, but it's actually very mild, isn't it?
Yeah, when the sun comes out, it's hot, but a nice breeze. It's great.
It's a great day for sports, I think. Yeah. And a great day for a voice convention.
What's the big sports gigs right now for you?
For me, I voice CBS Sports, so I do all the NFL games. Obviously not right now, but I will be, hopefully. Anybody hear that?
And then the NCAA basketball tournament. I do that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. So you're a little busy. Well, right now it's a lull right now, right? Or
it's a lull, yeah. I do also the Amazing Race, Star Wars, Clone Wars, that kind of stuff. Fox Soccer, I do. And,
I think I catch myself.
So yeah, so I'm happy, having fun.
Thanks, man.
Sure,
Thanks
no
for coming
problem.
on.
No problem.
Thanks, nice to meet you.
All right, nice to meet you.
We're gonna get you on the show one of these days.
You're gonna keep your shot glass. Trust me, you've spent enough money. You're gonna have to have shot glass.
And our number one fan wins the shot glass.
Yes. So what are you guys doing here now?
We're talking to the people that are vendors here.
Oh, okay.
We're here with Bill Holmes, the voice doctor.
Yes, the voice-over doctor.
Voice-over doctor.
Yeah, we don't want to get that wrong.
No, my otolaryngologist is my voice doctor.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We're trying to get him on the show too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to do a debate with him.
You
one voice doctor, voice-over doctor to the voice doctor. You know, kind of a Republican Democrat thing going there.
I don't know what his political affiliation is.
Oh, okay, I'm guessing
he's just an otolaryngologist. Anyway, we're here talking with the voiceover doctor, Bill Holmes, who a lot of people are familiar with. And what is it that you're? I know you've got lots of interesting services. What is it you're showing us?
Well, basically, I teach a system of commercial. I specialize in commercials, and we have just a range of classes that we teach at my facility. The most popular class we teach is a class called Margaritas, Mojitos, and Microphones. And basically, I have guest directors come in, and we split them up into 2 studios. And for the first hour, we have 8 students in each studio. And then after an hour, we flip-flop them. And then it's kind of catch-as-catch-can in the third hour. And we have a Q&A at the end of the night with these guest directors. And we've had such guest directors as Maurice Marsh, Rob Paulson, Bob Bergen, Jeff Jones, Tom Lawless, a couple of agents here in LA. I have producers come in, writers come in, just so people can pick their brains and learn from that. And on top of that, we serve margaritas and mojitos.
I was wondering when you were getting to that.
Yeah, well, that's the important part. Yeah.
And you made a big point about that. I figured, where's the booze?
So basically, we set up a little bar and we put out some nosh for everybody, and we serve refreshments for the evening. And you'd be surprised how loosened up you get behind the microphone when you got a nice margarita in you.
I hadn't thought of it. I'm going to try that tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, you can try it tonight because we're doing one here at the convention tonight.
Oh, really?
Like about a half-price deal. That I personally will be the monitor. I'll be teaching it, and we'll be serving margaritas up in room 2299. So
all right.
Come on up
all right. All right, we're back here on East West Audio Body Shop from Voice 2012 at Disneyland. And our next guest is a good friend and a lady who can probably help you a whole lot with your voiceover career, and that is Celia Siegel. Celia, welcome to our show.
Hello, thank you for having me on your show here at Disneyland. Very exciting.
Now, you're into voiceover talent management, which is a little bit different. Can you explain to us what that's all about?
Sure. I've had a management company for about 10 years, and basically the clients who come to me have agents and they want more. So I do everything the agent would do if only they had time. So I do everything from branding to marketing to helping people with their websites and their business plans. I'm a certified life coach. I think it's important people are grounded and ready to bring their full selves to their career and have fun in it. So we do it all.
Have you been an agent yourself?
Yes, I became an agent in 1988 at the Wayman Agency. It was my first job out of college, and I never looked back. And then I knew I wanted to move to LA and be an agent, so I worked here in town at CESD back when it was still CED. And then moved to the Bay Area and agented at JE Talent before becoming a manager.
And now you're freezing your bottom off in
Minnesota again. Yes, I'm freezing my bottom off in Minnesota for sure.
So what does you've got these services? You do management, you do marketing, and branding. Now, branding is a very important part of our business. At least that's what we've all been told.
So I'm going to trust that you're going to tell us why it's so important and how you go about finding the right brand for somebody.
Great. Do you want me to hold that? Do you want?
I can.
Okay, great, thanks. In my opinion, that's the fun part. You know, just like you guys have been talking about microphones, a good brand doesn't make a good talent, just like a good microphone doesn't make a good talent. But I think when you've got all your ducks in a row, it's a really fantastic way to really tell everybody exactly who you are, what you sound like, and why they should hire you. So it can be a lot of fun.
What goes into making a brand? I mean, how does someone? What are some ideas? I don't want to give away your secrets here, but what stands out in your mind? What is it that brings a brand idea to you?
Well, because there are so many thousands of people doing voiceover, my big thing is, why are you unique? Why do you stand out? Why are you fun to work with? Interesting, intriguing. So we have a whole process we go through with people to figure out why they're cool, special, unique, and why we want to work with you, and why we will remember you.
And you'll work with people over the phone and over the internet and ask the right questions and work on it. And you have a writer working for you too with this?
Yes, Marnie Lee is my fantastic writer. She's really smart. I think she's the best writer out there. I'm glad I get to work with her. Hi, Marnie. And we do a whole process where we work over the internet, over the phone, and we keep writing and keep honing it in until our clients are jumping up and down and really feel at home and like they have something really great to promote themselves with. And it really makes a difference.
You've been having a good time here?
Having a great time here. Yes, it's been amazing.
What's been your highlight so far?
You know, just meeting so many people that I know of and hadn't met yet in person. We're meeting in person for the first time.
But I feel as if I know you so well.
I know, that's how it goes. I mean, the phone can be very, you know, intimate and you can really get to know people. But I met tons of people. I met Lisa Biggs for the first time, and we've been working on the phone together for years. And yeah, it's been great. Lots of fun.
Well, we're having a fun time, and it was fun having you on our show. And we'll get you on again when we're back when I'm back in my basement. And we can get you on Skype, and we'll discuss this at a little bit more length then.
That sounds good. We could be East, West, Midwest.
Midwest, right. Yeah. All right. Celia Siegel, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
We have John? Florian? John Florian.
Paging John Florian.
John Florian.
And then we'll cut out after this. I think we'll have plenty. Okay.
All right, we're back here on East West Audio Body Shop, and we want to welcome one of our best friends, somebody George and I have immense respect for, and the winner of the Community Service Award at the last voiceover Voice 2010 over in Los Angeles a couple of years ago, and somebody who I have immense respect for and a great relationship with, a guy I can call a friend, even though he seems to want to imitate me with a mustache that he did not have before, John Florian.
Speaking of mustache, my friend, you were going to loan me one of those curly keys.
Oh yeah. I have to show you. I have to show you how to use the wax.
All right.
Somebody gave me it was Judy Greenberg. We all know Judy Greenberg. She's always sending me mustache stuff. And last week at the Don LaFontaine Lab, she gave me this handlebar mustache key ring, and you press the button and it goes, "Hello there." Keep sending it, Judy. Anyway, John, you're the publisher, the digital publisher of VoiceOver Extra. What is VoiceOver Extra for those of you out there who don't know and should know?
Well, I call it the daily resource for voiceover success, but in reality it's a CNN-ish type of website for voice actors. How-to information and news about the industry, and a backlog of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of articles. We feature Dan Leonard, George Whittam. We also put on webinars featuring Dan Leonard, George Whittam, and we have publishing ebooks now, so everything that people want to know about voiceover.
It's a tremendous resource. Now, how much does it take to put all this stuff together? Do you put out a new issue every day, or once a week, or what?
Just about every day if I I can. It works out to maybe 5 new articles a week. And I'm doing it actually every day this week here at the show. Well, I took off last night. I'm sorry.
Well, that was a good idea. We've been it here a little bit, so.
Yeah. No, but it's new stuff all the time. And I keep in touch with what's going on in the industry, and if something interests me, I pass it along.
Do you ever write your own articles for this? I mean, you rely a lot on other people who write stuff, and have you ever really written your own blog and talk about your experience of working with all these voice actors, which of course you are yourself?
I have so many ideas.
And so little time.
Well, so little time, but you know, I was a writer-editor for some 30 years in magazine publishing. What I love is packaging now. I love to see fresh ideas and oh, can I publish this? Can I do this? And would you write this for me? That kind of a thing. And I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about that. I just love packaging stuff for everybody else. Because these are the stars out here. They know what's going on. And everybody sitting in your audience right now is a voiceover star. They should be featured.
Absolutely.
I agree. That's when you're supposed to applaud, you guys. Come on!
You're supposed to know your cues. And your P's and Q's. Anyway, John, now George and I have been doing webinars, and you do webinars with Betty Zoller and lots of other people. It's like 1 or 2 a week. What do we have coming up?
We have coming up, it's a good question. We have one on marketing in July. I can't give you exact dates in marketing. We have one on called the Great Union Debate, pros and cons for unions.
Oh, that's good.
We have one on agents, how to get them, how to work with them. And we have coming up on action plans, creating marketing action plans, business plans, on audiobooks, audiobook narration. And we have something with a guy named Dan Leonard on, what is the one we decided to do?
Something about acoustics.
Yeah, acoustics coming up in August.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to talk all about acoustics. So it's easy to go to these webinars too. Just mail you and say we'll be advertising them, and you sign on, and it's like being in the same room with me. It's almost like this.
Exactly.
Exactly. You can wear whatever you want. Well, you can't. You got to wear one of your Hollywood, your Hawaii shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's very easy to do. Sign up at voiceoverextra.com. It's voiceoverextra.com, and you'll get all the information.
John, do you have anything special to announce?
Special to announce, we just published an ebook, Voiceover Legal, which is very, very interesting. I see a lot of heads nodding out here. It's very important to learn about the business structure, legal liabilities, copyright infringements, all these kinds of things. We try not to think, we say, yeah, that's true, but we don't want to think about it, and then we get mad. Well, this book tells you what to watch out for, and if you're in trouble, what to do.
The IRS doesn't take kindly to, accounting mistakes, and you've got to be careful about those things. And I can't wait to hear what Rob has to say about legal things. And when we think about voiceover legal, he's the first person I email, and I'm glad that you were able to help him publish that book.
Exactly. It's available by download as an ebook, and we also have print copies here.
John, first off, thank you for being our guest today, but second, thank you for being a sponsor of East West Audio Body Shop. We never would have gotten this show off the ground without you.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. Well, you're a great help to me. It's a joy working with you and George, and I just tremendously appreciate your friendship, and all people, it rubs off on me, because I know you, they think I'm smart.
You can't get a better endorsement than that. You really can. John, thanks for being with us at East West Audio Body Shop here at Voice 2012.
Thank you again.
All right.
Hey, my name is Bob Ball. I'm a voice actor and host of Pop Quizzical. Sure. I hear you thinking, Bob, what is this Pop Quizzical you speak of? Well, I'll tell you. It's a fun and funny, single-themed 10 to 15-minute audio quiz. It comes out every other week right here on the internets. You know, that thing that just about everything cool flows from. Pictures of cats, videos of dogs, and yes, Pop Quizzical. It's available on iTunes and wherever fine podcasts are sold. And it's easily found, too. Go to bit.ly/popquizzical. There's also a companion website at popquizzical.com with daily quiz questions, and every Friday over on the Pop Quizzical Facebook page, it's a Freebie Friday. Free stuff throughout the day. From The Muppet Show to James Bond to St. Patrick's Day, the Pop Quizzical podcast has a little bit of everything for you. Challenge your mind and your funny bone with Pop Quizzical.
Class dismissed.
This is East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the East and George Whittam in the West. Two guys I love spending Sunday nights with.
Are you seriously filming?
I'm gonna do it.
I'm getting a tramp stamp.
But it's cute. I'm telling you. It's just sexy. All right, here we go. We're going right here.
Oh, that's okay.
All right, little pressure, Diane. I might need some more water.
Okay.
I thought Diane wanted it.
Hold on, George.
I thought Diane wanted it.
Oh no! It's George doing it. Whoa! Oh my God! I didn't do that. This poor girl. I need a napkin. I need a napkin. Diane, I'm sorry.
I want to know how we're going to get that picture.
All right, ready? And
There goes the ice.
woohoo!
There goes the ice.
All right, wait. We're blowing. And you wet one. We are blowing. Okay,
You have to sit this way and turn your face around.
Wait, now turn your face.
Oh God, is this? I want to see. All right.
They mashed their way through the thick mud, floundering and stumbling between the wiles as if they were falling to pieces at larger joints. Actually, we should be at the bottom of the page. Let's start at the bottom. Okay. There was a steaming mist in all the hollows, and it had roamed in its forlornness up the hill like an evil spirit seeking rest and finding none. A clammy and intensely cold mist made its slow way through the air in ripples that visibly followed and overspread one another as the waves of an unwholesome sea might do. It was enough. Hey, that's really cool.
How'd you do that?
Yeah, how do we, you didn't see my hand on there at all. This is a really cool tool. This thing is called AirTurn. And here to talk to us about it is Hugh Sung. Hugh, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you so much for stopping by.
This is a great tool. Everybody is going to iPad. George and I believe that within 2 years, it's going to be completely done on iPad.
Well, the iPad has been selling so incredibly well. They're estimating by the end of 2012, there will be 66 million iPads in the USA alone. So the adoption rate is incredibly high. So you're absolutely right. I mean, the iPad is everywhere, and that's why there's so many application and hardware accessory manufacturers rushing in to fill that need. And the people are finding more and more incredible uses for these remarkable tablet computers.
Now, how does it work? I'm usually used to going, with just using my finger on here and using my iPad when I use it to read. But how does this particular thing work?
This works. This was actually the idea was born actually many years ago. I'm a pianist, and so I use both hands to play my instrument. And the last thing I want to do is interrupt using my finger to turn pages. So what I wanted was a way to keep my hands free to play my instrument and turn pages with my foot. So this is the AirTurn. The AirTurn is actually a piece of hardware. This is a wireless page turner, and it works with two pedals, forwards and backwards. And we work with a wide range of apps. This app over here happens to be a PDF reading app called Fourscore. F-O-R-S-C-O-R-E, originally designed for musicians, but it works particularly well, I think, for voiceover talent. Now, let me show you what you were reading. You were reading the bottom of the page. Now, when you get to the bottom of the page, that's it, you're stuck, right? You can't see what's next. Fourscore has a really cool half-page feature. So now I can see the bottom of the previous page, the beginning of the next page. You've got a continuous view. And when you're finished that part, you can just continue going forward, and it finishes the page turn. So for voice actors, this is really golden. So you get a continuous view of your script, no interruptions. And as you can see, I can also very easily mark up things with highlights, I can change using pens, so I can mark out words that I've missed and go back. If I need to erase this, I can erase those markings. I can clear the whole page if I want. Very easy to edit and work, just like, if anything, better than paper and pencil.
That answers so many questions. I mean, everybody's asking, how do you mark up a script on an iPad? You can't beat that, Hugh. That's amazing.
Exactly, and that's originally designed for musicians, but it's so well so well suited for voiceover actors who need to work in a professional situation, modifying things, correcting things on the fly.
Yeah. Does it just work with an iPad, or?
It works with iPads. It'll work with some Android tablets as well that are Bluetooth keyboard enabled. It'll also work with Macs and PCs, again, that are Bluetooth capable. In fact, for Macs and PCs, it'll work with almost any document or presentation programs right out of the box. But with the iPad, it'll only work with compatible apps. And we have a full list of about 35 apps now, and more apps coming online all the time. Just go to our website at airturn.com. and you'll be able to find our list of compatible apps. Everything from PDF readers to text readers. And so here's an example over here. This is great for video work. So if you set this teleprompter far back, I can control this with my foot, pause, play, and again, the idea here being that if you're looking at camera work where you want to have your full upper body shot, whether you're a broadcaster, newsroom, or just a video presenter, you want to have your hands free. Okay, you can read your script, have this next to the camera at a distance, so you don't see this in front of you, and then you use your foot to control the pause, play features, and you can even actually adjust speed as well with your foot with an AirTurn and this app called Teleprompt Plus, the plus symbol.
That's absolutely amazing. This answers so many problems. I'm glad somebody came up with this. And I guess invention is the necessity of mothers. Necessity is the mother of invention. I knew that. Yeah.
One of the really cool things is, again, coming from the musical world, I do a lot of professional recordings. I've got a new CD coming out from Sony Classical in Korea sometime this month. This had to be silent. Not just silent, but perfectly silent. Here, I'll put this right next to the mic. There's no clicking, there's no squeaking. We designed this to be the most silent pedal on the market. So when you're in a when you're closed, tight recording space, high quality microphones, no worries. There's no distraction of turning pages. And so why do you need this for a voiceover? Again, you don't want the noise. If this microphone is on this stand, you don't want to hear that rumbling while you're swiping your screen. This keeps it completely touchless, reading completely hands-free, really, and noise-free. So you're saving time. You're not spending time editing out the page shuffles, the finger swipes. You just get good clean takes and save yourself a lot of time and money.
And speaking of which, what this retails for?
Retails for $129.95. And that includes everything, the transmitter, both pedals, pedal board, the whole kit and caboodle.
That's a great solution. So this is what this conference is all about. You bring people like this here that show us things that make our lives easier. It's all going to be done on an iPad, and you're helping out here. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much.
All righty.
Appreciate it.
And things just keep getting more unique here. There are some great vendors here at Voice 2012, and I'm speaking with
James Kennedy from Pi-hole.
Pi-hole. That's not a phrase you hear a lot.
It's just we call it that just so I get to say it more.
That's true. Well, it's a very nice uvula you have there.
You think this is a uvula?
Well, there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is. That's, I guess, what a Pi-hole is. I can think of a lot of other lines with that, but we'll just continue on here. So what exactly is Pi-hole?
So we're a voiceover directory based in Europe. About 6 years ago, me and my now wife, then girlfriend, she was working in an advertising agency looking for voice talent. She couldn't find enough choice. I'm a geek, so I built the website. We hired some people onto the website, been building up since then. Now we're in the UK and Dublin. We have a Spanish site as well. And we came here because we don't have enough American talent, and also we're doing video production for American clients.
Well, here's my card.
Awesome. Well, we're having a free draw for. We're giving away one free spot on the site.
Oh, fabulous!
So I'll put you in there, and then we can put you up.
Oh, good.
So you're the official TV for this thing, are you?
No, we're here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not the official anything.
Lovely. I don't want to be on the official one. I want to be on the underground.
Oh well, okay. Here's our show here.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Keep rolling. But anyway, so what kind of work is available? I have clients in Europe, and some of them are fun to work with. And it's different there, isn't it?
It is different. And tomorrow, my wife is doing a seminar on how an American can get work in Europe, because it doesn't always work the way you think it would. America is a little bit different. It's a bit more hard to sell here, and sometimes, especially in Europe, they're looking for a more natural, straight read. It depends on the brand, obviously. But we've actually had UK talent beat American talent doing an American voiceover.
It happens a lot.
It happens sometimes, And we tell people what you want to do is turn on the BBC every now and again. Listen, get into maybe not the BBC, you don't have enough ads on them. Turn on some European radio, listen to the ads there, just get the culture of it a little bit more, learn how to tone it down. It depends on what the brand is and so on, but basically just get into what the Europeans are listening to. And then you'll understand it more when a brief comes across your desk.
Now, is it mostly commercial work or other types like e-learning and some of the other major types of audio production being done?
Well, we have a background from the advertising agencies. We're very connected with advertising agencies in London and Dublin, and we do a lot of work there. So that's where a lot of the nice work is. But of course, Europe's a very multilingual place. So you'll have a German company that has a product. They need that in English, French, Spanish, Italian. And so for every one bit of product, there might be 4 or 5 voiceovers required. And that's why it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's vibrant. It's growing all the time. And you have a lot of European companies who want to sound American, right? So they'll have a product which they're selling over here, and they don't want to put an Irish voiceover in, for example. For start, no one understands us, and it'll help them.
You're doing just fine, actually.
Thanks very much. You're so kind.
So, lots of people are getting recruited here, and I think that there's a lot of opportunity in Europe, and an opportunity for Europeans in America.
Yeah.
We've become a global village, and that's really what it's all about, isn't it?
Well, interesting.
Okay.
Oftentimes, a UK customer would rather buy from an American voice than a UK voice, and vice versa. So sometimes a UK voice will do better here and vice versa. But it's not universal. We have an article on our blog that's all about which voices cater to which markets. So for example, if you're marketing to Indian consumers, you want to use a US voice. But if you want to market to an Australian consumer, you got to use a UK voice. And there's all these subtleties to it.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
So am I.
I'm glad I met you too.
I've been hearing about you guys all around, actually. Looking after the ground. You've got a show.
All right. And it's time for our next guest here at Voice 2012 here on East West Audio Body Shop. A guy who represents a company that means quality when it comes to microphones. Let's welcome to the stage and give a nice East West Audio Body Shop welcome to Chris Cerier from Sennheiser Microphones. All right, we got Chris in the shot here. Let's see here. This is what we call
Guerrilla television.
Guerrilla television. Welcome to our show. We've talked before, and I use your products. Welcome to East West Body Shop.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, you're with Sennheiser, and some people don't realize that Sennheiser represents not just Sennheiser,
but also Neumann. Yeah, since 1991, we've been one big, happy German family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it that makes Neumann microphones and Sennheiser microphones so good? Aside from the fact that they're German and precise and all those sorts of things, but what really sets them apart? What makes them the standard for what great microphones are?
I mean, both of these companies have been in the audio industry for a very long time. So Neumann's actually been around since 1928, Sennheiser since 1945, and some of the most aggressive testing requirements in the audio industry. So they don't just approve, one microphone out of a lot of 100 and then the whole thing goes.
Right.
They actually test every microphone up to 64 times and require every microphone of the same model to respond within 1 decibel of every other microphone.
Now, what kind of tests do you put them through?
They go through a ton of different hand quality checks. So there's the standard anechoic chamber, which of course Neumann invented.
Of course.
And then in addition to that, there's all sorts of, hand quality checks with the capsule, the electronics. So up to 64 times these mics go through a quality check.
And you make both condenser microphones and dynamic microphones.
Yes, we do. Neumann actually only has one dynamic microphone, the BCM 705, but Sennheiser has quite a few more. Yeah.
And microphones have a lot of different uses in different places. So what is it that makes one microphone better for something? Because if you're mostly dealing with condenser mics, which we use in the voiceover business, what makes one condenser microphone more appropriate for one activity than, say, another?
Some of it has to do with the tech specs. Some of it's the frequency response, and some of it is the dynamic range that kind of dictates that. But sometimes it's also the performer and the type of work that they're doing, especially with voiceover. When you're talking long form narration versus a short commercial where you've got to really be in somebody's face, that will often dictate the type of microphone we recommend.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think is, and I'll put you on the spot here, because you probably get asked this all the time, although you guys are far more than just voiceover. I mean, Neumann microphones are used for all sorts of things. But what do you think, and you can get yourself in as much trouble as you want, is the best, and I know the answer to this, is the best microphone for doing voiceover?
Oh, see, now this is tricky. I know. Because I don't believe that there is any one best microphone.
See, he's total East West Audio Body Shop material here.
No, honestly, I mean, I have 4 different mics that I use for voiceover. I think it's like a paintbrush. There's no one paintbrush to do everything. So, I mean, I have a favorite microphone. Every parent has a favorite child, whether we want to admit it or not. My favorite child is the TLM67, a mic that we came out with about 5 years ago.
And how much does that retail for?
You're talking about $2,200.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yep, but of course the U87 is still well known, well loved. Everybody loves it. About $3,300. Then there's on the Sennheiser side, there's the MKH416 for $1,000. But we've got stuff for entry level as well. I mean, the 103, very well known and well loved in voiceover.
That's exactly what I use.
Yep.
And I'm not entry level.
Yep, exactly. It's about $1,100. Or the 102, which is $700. Mm-hmm. And we've got them all here. We're demoing for people and showing things off. It's been great.
Well, Chris, thank you for sponsoring, being a big sponsor here at Voice 2012. And, we love your stuff, and I use it, so you guys should use it too. I'm trying to think of one last question here. I'll ask you later.
Ask something about the 416.
What about the 416? Yes, because we're going to be using the 416 in just a little bit. We'll be showing a package about that. And what is it that makes the 416 so special that it seems to be a prized piece for a lot of voiceover people?
Well, the 416 has no business being in voiceover, to be perfectly honest. It started off as a microphone. It's a shotgun mic, so it's designed to be used on film and television sets at a bit of a distance. And the story is, of course, that Ernie Anderson didn't really like being cooped up in a vocal booth, and they wanted to bring him out a little bit but still capture his performance. They went next door to one of the sets. They grabbed a 416 and brought it over, and that kind of started it. So we owe the 416 success in voiceover to Ernie Anderson.
And it's a great microphone. We used it on our package, and why can I not remember? This is what happens when you get old. Suddenly the questions just don't flow out as well anymore. And then I remembered. What's in the future for Neumann and Sennheiser? Is there some new big development that's on the horizon for microphones that we should all know about?
Neumann has been spending a lot of energy in digital microphones, and we will have a new microphone coming out later this year.
It wouldn't happen to have a
here first.
USB. It wouldn't happen to have a USB port on it.
Did you just say USB and Neumann in the same sentence?
That's what I heard.
Woo! Zing!
I don't think that's going to happen. But we will have a new mic coming out later this year, so that's going to be very exciting.
All right. Chris, thanks so much for being here at East West Audio Body Shop, and thanks for helping out at Voice 2012. We're having more fun than we should be allowed to have at this thing. We're talking about some of the great products that are here and some of the people offering their great services. Talk about services. We have with us this afternoon
Joe Yurka. I'm from Airs LA.
He's with Airs LA, and Airs LA is sort of a reading service for the blind?
Yeah, we're an internet-based reading service for blind people and also people who have vision impairments and even such things as dyslexia. Anybody who has trouble reading can go to our website and they can find a lot of material that's both interesting and informative.
Now, is it like daily newspapers and contemporary magazines? And
Actually, we concentrate on things that people can't get on any other service. So we don't do newspapers because everybody else does. And we don't do books because there are copyright limitations. But what we do is an awful lot of magazines, material that has to be current in order to be valuable. So it's good. We have a good time.
how are you funded?
Well, we're hardly funded at all.
Henceforth my question.
Yeah, like all volunteer organizations, we have trouble with things like money and getting people to be as dedicated as a volunteer should be. We just hope for the best. We do have a fundraiser once a year at the Beverly Hills Country Club, but it contributes maybe $1,000 bottom line. So we really do fairly well on a shoestring. Our studio, for instance, is in a bedroom of my house, so we're kind of proud of the fact that we spend no money.
Well, you're in good company because there are a lot of people here who are in the exact same situation. So how do you get people to volunteer for this, and how many volunteers do you have?
Well, we do a lot of begging, and we have, I never counted them, to be honest with you, but we have 116 projects on our website right now. Some of them are static. For instance, FFB did a series on how to adapt to losing your sight, and it's excellent advice. I think there's something like 20 episodes, and that is not going to change in all probability. But most of our content is in podcast form, and for those of you who don't know, a podcast is something that is added to regularly. And if you go to a web page on our website, you'll see a table basically with rows of the table associated with individual recordings, and the recordings up at the top are the most current ones, and you can see that there's content being added very often, as often as twice a day and as seldom as once a month.
Have you been able to recruit any of the young hopefuls that have been attending Voice 2012?
Well, a lot of people have expressed an interest, but as to whether we'll continue with them or whether they'll continue with us, it's the jury is still out on that.
Oh, that's great. And Joe and I actually share something in common. He was born in Buffalo.
Yay, Cheektowaga.
It's amazing. We're everywhere. Anyway, Joe, thank you so much, and good luck.
You're very welcome.
What does the VO1A sound like? It sounds just like this. A condenser mic from MXL I'm proud to have my name on. Here's something I recorded for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce on it recently. It's not a game, it's a race. And first prize is the future. Some say America can't win, that we've had our time, but here's what they don't understand. It's not America that will run this race, it's Americans. 300 million of us, free to compete, free to outwork, outthink, outdream anyone, anywhere. Free enterprise. It's how we unleash the power of 300 million individual economies. American free enterprise. It's you. So dream big.
And it just goes on and on. There's a lot of great vendors here at Voice 2012, and one of them is one of our favorite microphone companies, Blue Microphones, and Ben Tomkins is their rep here. Ben, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing just fabulous. They saved our tuchuses this morning. We needed a special adapter for our projector for our presentation, and he came through. We owe him our lives. Thank you so much.
Oh, luckily I had it.
Luckily you did. Anyway, let you show some of the Blue microphones here. Now, Blue has a great history, and it's a very unique microphone company. Tell us about it.
Yeah, as you know, we've been a company for about 20 years. We started out making boutique microphones, a combination of products or parts from all over the world. Blue actually stands for Baltic Latvian Universal Electronics. So we have, our famous line of bottle microphones with interchangeable capsules, large diaphragm condensers such as the mouse and the bottle rocket that we have here, and here we go. Here's the mouse, which is great for here at the voice convention. A lot of people use it for voiceovers because of the low frequency response on it. And then the interchangeable capsule system that we have here with the bottle rocket stage 1, which is great for having a variety of different voices for the customer. But about 5-6 years ago, we got into the consumer world, which is when the company really started coming out with some very unique products. We started with the Snowball microphone. Became an instant hit at $99. It was much better than the mic that came with your computer, or if your computer didn't come with a mic at all, well, that solved that problem. We expanded from there, coming out with the Icicle, which was an XLR to USB converter, the Snowflake, a more portable solution to USB microphones, and then we came out with the Mikey, which works for your iPhone or your iPod, and the new one that we've announced this year will work for your iPad as well as the iPhone 4. We have the Yeti microphone that came out a couple years ago.
A lot of people like the Yeti. We see a lot of people saying, I use a Yeti.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that at $150 you can have a microphone with such high quality and so many different features, such as multiple polar patterns, being able to plug in a headphone into it directly for zero latency monitoring. And now the Yeti Pro, which over there can do XLR as well as USB and records at 24-bit 192, which is the highest quality USB mic on the market.
And it can double as R2-D2.
That's what I like to say as well.
Yeah. And so the Yeti Pro also has, as you said, did you say it has an XLR and USB?
That's correct. So a lot of people here have an M box, but sometimes they want to do some of their voiceover work on their coffee table in front of their TV. Hopefully the TV's muted when they're doing it, right? But they like doing that, so that gives you the flexibility of both.
They're great products, and you can adjust the levels on them, and has a headphone jack on it. You can monitor yourself. Not that I always recommend it. We argue about that all the time. But they're a great line of microphones, great capsules, and because you've got such variety, it makes it a lot easier for people to find what works, especially well for them.
Absolutely. In this market, we're trying to find what the customer needs, and now with our new Spark Digital and the new Mikey that's coming out, we have stuff that works for your iPad. Our Snowball and our Yeti can do that with the camera accessory kit available from Apple, but now we have
easy.
We want something that'll go directly in.
Right.
So we're really excited about Spark Digital, and so far I've received a lot of awards for it already.
Can't wait till it comes out so we can test it out and show people what a great item it is. And at East West Audio Body Shop, we believe that the iPad is really going to be the platform of the future for doing voiceover, and so microphones like that are going to be vital.
Yeah, we certainly recognize that the market desires it. I mean, I love my iPad, and to have the ability to record things on it, from guitar ideas to being on Skype to voiceover work, I think is going to be really cool.
It's especially good for voiceover work because it's single channel and it's easy to position and things like that. Ben, thanks again so much for helping us out this morning. We really owe you.
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, okay, great. Ben Tomkins, Blue Microphones. And right now we're here with Tony Oliver, who is with his crew here at Adventures in Voice Acting. And welcome to Voice 2012.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
What brings you to, what is it that you're showing people here?
Well, we came here to talk about our workshops. We have a series of workshops that we do all over the country about voice acting, about the basics of voice acting, and also some more advanced work on character creation and how to place your voice. And we also teach it from the basis of dubbing and anime and that sort of thing, because it's a highly technical style of acting and lends itself to gaming and that sort of thing. So it's a great entryway to go. So people who are wanting to get started in the voice acting world, this is not a bad way to go, because you learn a little bit about dubbing, you learn about character creation, and we provide a lot of mic time, a lot of time in real studios. We actually work in real studios all over the country with real scripts and real anime, and teach people how to do this thing.
So there was a session yesterday on anime.
Yeah.
And you go through that process of showing them how you actually dub in those those particular lines?
Yeah, of course that was a panel, and Crispin's wonderful. In fact, I work with Crispin all the time. Yeah, we got a lot more depth into how to act in that environment, because it's a little different than just being in a booth and speaking some lines for a commercial.
Do you do it all over the country?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, this year we're going to be going to Dallas, New York, Chicago, Seattle, and of course here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and a lot of people here that want to do it here.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming down to Voice 2012. We have our show here. We want to make sure that everybody was well represented all over the country. We make sure that you were here.
Well, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everybody.
The highlights of any voice conference, of course, is coming into Tech Talk Terrace and into the vendor area, because there's people here that have lots of great stuff that they're selling and want to, expose to people who are getting into voiceover. And one of the things you have to have if you're doing a lot of production after a little while is to have a production library. And here from Sound Ideas is Brian Nimons. Brian, how you doing?
Oh, very good.
Great. We're neighbors. He's like close to Buffalo. Yes. He's Canadian, eh? A, B. You get that all the time. Anyway, so explain to us, what a royalty-free library is and how people can use it.
Okay, a royalty-free library is a library of stock music or instrumental music that you buy once and you use it forever. So you do have to pay for it one time, but it's a one-time fee. There's no recurring royalties that you need to pay at any other time. Okay, all the Sound Ideas libraries have been put on a website called stockmusic.com. So there's over 150,000 sound effects, over 20,000 music tracks and production elements, and it's great because it's a la carte. So you may not really want a full library. You go out and spend a few $1,000s on a complete library. Here you can go and purchase one track at a time, a la carte.
And get it online.
Download it, as well as on the site, if you go to stockmusic.com, go over to the right-hand side, down a little bit, you'll see a red banner, and we give you 50 free tracks to download. Just click, you have to register first, click on it, and then all those free tracks go into your personal page. And whenever you purchase anything from that point on, all your tracks go to your own personal page. So no matter where you're at, say you're in a recording session, you've got something, you bought it before, you can log on and download it at a different location from where you work.
Excellent. Brian, it's great. We've been next door to him the whole time. He's been patiently waiting here, selling his wares, but it's important stuff to have. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
All righty.
I'm that old. But Lou Burrows, who was the vice president of Electro Voice, came into San Diego and they were doing one of their microphone tours, a lot like what you guys do. And he came in and had a board that was about that long, had about 6 nails in it. And he went up in front of the room and he's using his Electro Voice 635A as his demo mic. So he takes his 630, one of these, just happened to have one, and this one's in relatively good condition actually. But he took his 635A, he unplugged it, and he proceeded to pound in the nails with his microphone, plugged it back in, and continued his lecture. And and we're all sitting in the audience, says, "Oh my God!" But then he literally told us how this mic was built.
You have to admit
and
what year that was.
That was about 1973, 72, 73, someplace in there. So we're going, about 30 years or so back. It's a while back, 38 years.
I was born.
1973, yeah.
Awesome.
But that was...
I was in high school too.
Yeah. But that was one of my most memorable EV moments.
Totally. That's good PR.
But, yeah.
Well, that's about all we have time for today. It's always a challenge when we get together and try doing the show from someplace other than the comfort of our own home.
Doing it on the road is a huge challenge.
I don't know how you do it. I think it's amazing.
There's always something we never would have thought of that has to be fixed at the last minute. And even though we're not doing it live today, we have all these people waiting to come on the show. So I'm like scrambling at the last minute, but we brought it to you anyway.
We got it done. That's the most important thing. Never panic. You know, it gets done. There's always a way to do something. Never panic when you're late with a client or something like that. You're a professional. You don't say I'm lazy. You're like, I'm trying to make it right for you, and we'll get it right for you really soon. And that's what we believe, and that's how we do this show. Anyway, next week. We're not going to be on next week because we're going to take a break for a week, and then I think we'll probably be on for a couple of weeks. I'm not sure if we're going to take a week off every other Sunday this summer.
Yeah, in the summer we'll kind of ramp it back a little bit. We'll keep you guys posted on the schedule.
Yeah, and but we've got some great guests coming up. Got lots of manufacturers who want to talk to us about their products.
Bill Ratner says he will be back.
Yes.
He promises.
Absolutely.
We had a train wreck of scheduling or something, but he is coming back.
All right. And we've got, we'll talk about new products, we'll have more tips of the week, and we'll go on for our 100th episode. Sometime next year, probably.
Next year, we'll be doing our 100th episode.
That'll be great. Anyway, our thanks to Jim and Penny for putting on Voice 2012.
Thank you.
And our thanks to the Disneyland Hotel, which has been marvelous hospitality here.
The nicest staff, the nicest, what do they call themselves?
Staff. Cast members. They're cast members, including the sparrows in front of Goofy's Cafe. And of course, our audience. So if we didn't have our audience, we wouldn't be able to do a show.
Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Yeah, and thanks for hanging out. We got a great garden party coming up. Joe Cipriano is going to be sponsoring that, and so we're going to have sign off for now. I'm Dan Leonard, usually in the East.
I'm George Whittam, still in the West.
And together we are East West Audio Body Shop. Have a great time, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.